Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. Man, this is going to be fun, I think. This is going to be fun. The influencer coins, we're going to go through these, and if I miss any, let me know in the chat. I did my best to try and get the list up of influencer coins on PulseChain. It's going to be fun. Now, I think, people quote different numbers. We've got places where it lists the YouTubers like the PulseTube, which is being redone at the moment. Can't wait for that to come out. It's going to be rehashed, so big shout out to the PulseTube founder. And of course, we've got a list of influencers. So I don't know. You guys decide. Let me know in the chat what you guys think, how many influencers are in the PulseChain community. It's pretty well developed, right? We know it's a pretty well-defined ecosystem, obviously following on the back of Richard Hart, the founder. And of course, I don't know. Is there 150? Is there 250? You guys let me know. How many are regular? I don't know. I say I don't know, but I kind of have an idea. Let's say it's I don't know, maybe a dozen. A dozen influencers are kind of regular streamers, and then you might have another 10 to 20 that stream on a more irregular basis, and then you've got ex influencers, right, which can just post all day long, right? So you got those kind of influencers out there. But in terms of video streamers. Probably a good dozen. Would you say a good dozen? Let me know in the chat what you think. And of course, some of these influencers, let's say, are the 150 to 250 influencers out there, depending on where your numbers from. Some of them have launched tokens. And hey, look, it's crypto. Why not launch tokens? Now we remember, back in the day, not a lot of influencers will launch tokens. Obviously, back in the Richard Hart tokens and stuff like that. But eventually, one by one, more and more did start launching. And I remember a post that someone made ages ago, a couple of years back, saying that he reckoned that something like at least half the influencers would end up having their own coin. And I don't know about if it's been half, but it's definitely been some of the more well-known influencers for sure. Now there's some very big influencers in PulseChain that have never launched a token. I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure Crypto Coffee and others like that. But it's it's crypto, and a lot of people like to launch tokens, and everyone can do it these days. So it's going to be pretty fun. So hopefully, I'm going to go through my list. If I've missed any, let me know. But I've got two that are not on the list because one of them I couldn't find, and the other one I couldn't remember. So I'm doing my best here. Anyway, get into the chart and get into the chat there and get known. Now the other thing I want you to do is repost out the stream. It really helps a lot as well. So let's get that out there. And if you're on Rumble, definitely repost it, and definitely don't forget to follow and like and share and get into the chat on Rumble. Get on the chat on Rumble. And if you're over on YouTube, subscribe and share as usual. And if you're on X, if you want to spread this out, get out there as well. So I guess we've got waiting for some of the moderators to come in, to be honest. But let's see here. So repost on X and share it around. Just send it out right now. I'll just post it here and bam, send it out there. All right, it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, we've got a comment there from Christine. Nice one, Christine. Hey, so glad for Richard victory. Hey, they should be a new token. I want to hear all about the influencer tokens. Bring it on. Looking good. Yeah. Hey, look, we're going to talk about it. I think it's a great topic. Now, you guys know I've gone through so many other top-performing categories on PulseChain, and I thought it's time to get around to the influencer ones. You guys might have heard me talk about that the other day, so we're going to do that today. We're not mucking around. Hex Amigo and how's that? Hey, big shout out. Now, also, I posted a video from Nexian last night. You definitely got to check that out. It's pretty awesome. Some big stuff coming out from Nexian regarding DeFi on PulseChain with the Globe product coming up. So it's going to be epic. And so check out that video. Up to 10x leverage in there, lending and borrowing. It's going to be pretty amazing product and pushing the boundaries of what we've got offering on PulseChain. So it really is an addition to what we've got. So it's actually a big value add. So check out that Nexian video and the socials. I think I pinned them to the top of the video. A big shout out to the Nexian founder as well. And now we've got Craig Pittenhouse there. Morning all. Thank you for your alpha. I appreciate it, Craig. Big shout out. Hey, Craig, I've noticed you posting out a few of my X posts, and I really do appreciate that. So big shout out and thank you from me, for Craig there. All right, like I say, if you guys are out there, spread it around on X. Bam, bam, bam. Let's go. Now we're gonna jump into the live stream here. So we're gonna kick it off, and let's get straight into the stock market. Before we get into all the PulseChain influencer stuff, let's see how we're getting on. So yesterday was green, right? Green, great day, about 2% gain. Today, another 1 to 2% a day as well. So S&P 500 ends higher, but US-China trade deal optimism fades. Now, obviously, Trump's just had a big signing of executive orders. You can sort of see the video at the top right there. And he wants Powell, the Fed chair, to cut interest rates. So he's putting pressure on Powell to do that. So hopefully that will happen, right? So Trump wants to obviously get better trade deals. He wants to lower the interest cost for America. That's a big deal. That is a real tangible benefit. And not only will it lower it for people with interest rates, but also will help boom the economy again to that golden age of America that Trump's trying to put in place probably by the 4th of July. So that is kind of where we are at the moment. Now, Dow Jones at the moment up 1%. So a pretty good day on the Dow Jones, 419 points to 39,606. S&P 500 up 1 2/3%, 88 points to 5,375. And the Nasdaq up 2.5%. That's awesome news. That's all the tech companies, right? Up 407 points to 16,708. So that is very, very exciting to see that. Now, how does that compare to approximately when Trump got in? Well, let's go all the way back here. What's the 20th of January? And we were up at around about 43,500. We rallied all the way up to almost 45,000, 44,800 on the old Dow, and then we came down. Obviously, come back there to 39.6. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Now, we did have a bit of news there. Besant, of course, there was the Treasury Secretary there saying Besant said there's no unilateral offer from President Donald Trump to lower Chinese trade tariffs, adding doubt to an earlier Wall Street Journal report that suggested Trump was willing to reduce the 145% tariffs on China. Some say that he should have 400%. They really want to get that China trade deal reorganized there. And that's a huge topic by itself, so we're not going to cover it here. The remarks injected a sense of reality into the current U.S. trade standoff and suggest that Trump administration could be waiting for China to make the first move. Now, they're putting a lot of different screws on for that. But China President Xi isn't expected to cave in at first offer of a trade truce from the Trump administration, citing unnamed CEOs within close ties to the Chinese government. This suggests that the current trade standoff between the world's two biggest economies could continue for a while longer, dampening early optimism for a quick resolution. Now, the other key thing is that there are 90 other countries that have been in negotiations with Trump, and many of the other big world powers, in the top 10, top 15 that are making deals. And China's actually getting isolated. So they're going to, that's another way of turning up the screws, is by the isolation. And China's gone out to try and, make some friends to try and counter the US, but has, heard deaf ears. Because the China's, they underdeliver. Particularly in Africa, they promise all this stuff. They take the resources, but then they underdeliver on infrastructure and loans and other things like that. And typically, they try to take political power with that, right? That's what they're doing, not just in Africa, but they do that in the Middle East. They do that in South America, and they're doing that now, outreaching into the Pacific as well, the South Pacific in particular. So a lot of games going on there. On Tuesday, Trump said that the high tariffs on China will come down substantially, but it won't be zero. So there we go. They're offering a little bit of a give and take there. That's probably where it is at the moment. So let's move on and get into the crypto. Bitcoin at the moment looking pretty good. Let's zoom in on that on big screen. And who we got? Wookie now. Say good to see you, Wookie. Hi peeps. Absolutely. Gold dump last night, $150, going back up now. Hex Amigo said, yeah. Hey, sorry, I was going to cover that actually. I forgot about that on the old commodities, which I normally do. So gold down on 150 there. Not surprising given the big rally it went to 3450 or something, wasn't it? 3400. Not surprising at all. All right, so here we are. Bitcoin here, not too bad. Pretty flat at the moment. It was up slightly before the live stream, but sitting at $93,500. That's pretty good. And the dominance there, 62.19% based on the numbers here for Coin 360.com. Now, Ethereum at the moment is up 2.4%, $1,800. Solana up 1.5%, $150. ADA up 2.25% at just under 70 cents on ADA. A few of the others are pretty flat there. XRP at $2.21. BNB is down 2% at $605. And Tron there down 0.6% at 24.6 cents. PulseChain, though, continuing on its shine, up 8.77% at $2.94. So looking pretty good if you're on the old PulseChain there. Those are kind of our leaders at the moment. The other one that we've been noticing is that Trump coin has been on the comeback from a very low base. So I think it's almost 2x, isn't it? Up 43% today. I think they got down to like $6 or so. So the Trump token there making a bit of a move. And of course, we're talking about influencer coins. We can't forget the Trump one, right? Can't forget the Trump one there. So that is kind of where we are on that chain. So that's Solana, isn't it? So let's move over to the rankings at the moment. So we're still over 3 trillion in the market cap. And so remember, 3 trillion is still relatively a small market in the world. So you are still early. Crypto is going to hyper rally. We've got just about all the players sitting on the bench going to be playing the game of crypto in its early days. So we're starting at $3 trillion market cap. That is exciting. And you got to feel some pretty good confidence about where crypto is going. Now, we also yesterday went through another number of news items about Trump supporters and associated family members moving their entities to start to make more copies. Michael Saylor with the MSTR and things like that. And so we've got some big money coming into crypto over the Trump administration years. It's going to be pretty glorious. And it's going to blow minds. Glorious and blow minds. We like that. All right. We got Easy Crypto and House there. #Pumpy. And we got Brennan says, Nick Minute. Howdy, folks. Good to see you, Brennan. Big shout out to you. I hope you're doing well out there. Yeah, don't forget to share the channel around too. If you are on X, don't forget to repost there as well. Helps a lot. So get out there and do that. Now, I'm just going to quickly check over on Rumble, see how you guys are going. Hey, good to see people on Rumble. Don't forget to get in the chat over on Rumble and make yourself known. Make yourself known. Let me know your thoughts on crypto and particularly PulseChain here. So that's kind of where we are there on that. So let's jump back into the mix. It's probably a little bit easier to see. And we're going to go through the top coins here in rank. So Bitcoin, we got Ethereum number 2, XRP number 4, BNB number 5, Solana number 6, and 8 is Dogecoin. We got number 9 Cardano, and number 10 is Tron. Those wrap out our top 10. And of course, the best performer over the last 24 hours has been Cardano, actually up 2.3%, followed by Ethereum up 2.2%. So Ethereum having another good day in the office, relatively speaking, and it's back over $1,800, which is nice to see. Now, the next, of course, task for Ethereum is to get back over 2K again. And it just seems kind of weird. It's kind of weird when the last local high was 4,100, and here we are struggling to get back over 2K again. And this is the mark where Richard Hart, to his credit, obviously could have, before we rallied to 4,100, we were sitting in our Discord saying, why doesn't he turn the Ethereum into the DAI that he had into Ethereum, whoever controls the sacrifice wallets. And anyway, it's back to that point now, 800. So up 13. So the best performer in the last week, though, in the top 10, we've got Dogecoin there etching it out at 14.8%. Solana is just behind it at 14.7%. Then we've got Ethereum and Cardano there, both up. Cardano there, 13.7, and then Ethereum number 4, 13.5, and followed by Bitcoin up 11%. Those are kind of the rankings of the top 10. Let's have a look at the top 100 performance and see how that's going. Well, the top one there, Trump token. We just talked about it. Trump token is up on a rally, 43% there. And, of course, hit its bottom and away it's gone. You can see in the chart there, it's got a big vertical on that chart. So let's have a quick look at that because pretty insane little recovery there. Look at that. Boom. Just out of nowhere, just up it goes. Now, let's have a look at the price because I got this on market for some reason. So it was sitting pretty much slowly creeping up, right? So how low did it get? Trump token got down, I don't know, around, let's say $7.50. $7.50? Yeah, it looks like a little dip further, but let's say $7.20 or $7.30. And then it slowly crept up, got to $9.37, and then just pow, up it went, and all the way to $14.37. Welcome to crypto, folks. Welcome to crypto. That is the old Trump. And let's have a look what else we've got. It's up 51% now. It's even climbing. We've got Jasmine up 12.8%. PulseChain up 10.5%. Chainlink up 6.3%. And Immutable is rounds up our top 5 for the last 24 hours in the top 100. And that is up 5.6%. over the last week. Let's have a look at the best performers. Well, with Trump token again taking the lead here, 78.7% in the last week. We got BitTensor there, 47.3%, and PulseChain there, 43%. Immutable is 43%, and finally, artificial superintelligence, which we've seen in the list here for some time, is up 35%. So not bad, not bad. That is kind of the top performers there. In terms of top gainers over the 17,000 coins on CoinGecko, we've got Zero Bro up 41%, Nero up 50%, and Official Trump there making the top leaders up 43%. And trending, we've got Zora, Artblock, and Trump there also trending. So Trump seems to be everywhere right now. And like I say, he had a big session on executive orders and education today, which is very, very cool. Back to common sense. Isn't it a relief? Progressives have taken us down in the West, destroying the West and taking us down a path of madness. And it's great to see order being restored back to common sense. Thank goodness for that. Now, still a lot of work to do because these progressive operatives are rampant through all our institutions, especially in New Zealand. Oh, God help us, please. We need the help. These guys are insane, and they control, I don't know, they probably control 80% of our institutions. So we have no Trump. The closest thing we have is to Winston, and he seems like he's actually, our foreign minister is actually starting to stand up for once. So after he came back from America too, isn't that funny? After he came back from America, he's got some gumption behind him. So that's positive. But we can only do so much because the rest of them are all pretty nuts. They're pretty crazy. All right, so that's kind of where we are. That's New Zealand in review. All right, so let's move on into Bitcoin. And, of course, here is our circle of volatility, and it's been expanded because I expected us to have a couple more weeks of uncertainty. And so here we are. We got what we wanted. We asked for green candles, and we got it. We got for green candles because we want to avoid this death cross, right? And so did the market, apparently. So did the market makers, and more importantly. So we want another parabolic, right? Because we're not done with this bull market, right? We're just one parabolic after another. So you can see the parabolics going up one and then consolidate, up one and then pull back, and a little bit of bear trap, and away we go. And of course, here we are. We are ticking through this green line. Remember that? This is our 90 days for extension. This is our negotiation period. This all been played out, right? There's a few things they have to move dynamically, but a lot of this stuff they already know what they're going to be doing, right? So don't believe what the mainstream media says. They got to give it a take because they don't know exactly what everybody's going to respond, but they've got a kind of a window of activity they're expecting. And so they've just got to play that a little bit by ear. But at the end of the day, they're going to win the game, right? That's going to be the cool thing. And here we are with this green all the way to the 4th of July. This is when Trump has to lay his strategy in place, right, for the restructure of the United States and the world order. And, of course, this is going to bring us great security, prosperity in the future. Now, he doesn't control everybody, right? Doesn't control what Vladimir is going to do. Doesn't control what Zelensky's going to do. Doesn't control what President Xi is going to do. He doesn't have all the controls, but he's definitely got a lot of room to control a lot of the outcomes because he holds most of the cards, right, from that point of view. So here we are. He's ticking away through this time frame. They've already got 90 countries negotiating, and many of the top 15, that's the ones that you really care about. Obviously, there's a few like China, obviously number 2 biggest economy that they're having to deal with, but the Chinese will want to do a deal because their economy's in trouble. And their regime's in trouble with the army. There's a big something going on between President Xi and the army there. And President Xi's 4th biggest general, the general that he put in place at number 4, has gone missing. So there's lots of issues going on there. And so, yeah, they definitely want to get a deal done, but they've got to save face at the same time. So let's see where that heads. At the moment, we've got some big green candles here, and we've avoided a death cross, and we're getting a separation again. So that's great news. So at the moment, we've got 200-day moving average at 85,300. We've got the 50-day at $86,330. So we're about 1,100. Well, let's say 1,050. Let's say $150 clear, something like that. No, 1,000. 1,000. I'll give you 1,000. I'm bidding myself. No, we've got $1,050. $1,050 difference there in separation for the nose. But what really matters is that as well is that the price is really booming here. And up we go at 93,600. Now, we're still going to get some volatility, right? So we're still in the circle of volatility here. And this could, I've got this going out to early May there. And finally, early May, about was it the 5th or 7th, we got the Ethereum upgrade, the EIP upgrade. So that is coming up there as well. So, yeah, let's see what happens. It's going to be fun to see. So that is kind of where we are. Let's move on into PulseChain. Before we do, let's catch up with some of the chats there, and we're going to get into the influencer coins, which I think is a fun topic. And of course, a lot of them do some great stuff. They can do some great coverage. All right, let's see who else has jumped in the chat here. I'm going to scroll up, and away. It's a bird. It's a plane. All right. Let's see here. We got Brian in the house, our community leader. Good to see you, Brian. What's up, folks? Big shout out. And we got the boss. Yeah, the boss is in town. What else? We got Hedgehog as well. Good to see Hedgehog. Welcome to the chat. We got Hex Amigo. Giving some good alpha there. ETH fallen off a cliff since Vitalik started dating. Probably true. Sandy is on the road trip. Sandy is on the road. Sandy does road trips. Does road trips quite a lot. I hope she's having a good time there. Moneybags in the house as well. We're getting some shillers in the house, are we? We're getting some pumpy shillers. We got Easy Crypto and the pumpy. You guys just launched a new coin. Is the hottest new coin on PulseChain. Total 50K market there. There we are. There's your shell. There's your shell. What else we got? Brian says, been super busy gearing up for my own road trip. Oh, that's so cool, Brian. You're going to have to take some photos or videos and stuff like that and post them in Discord. All right. Big pow. Says you only go to Wyoming to get rid of a body at the train station in Yellowstone. Anyway, you took that real dark. You took that deeply dark there very quickly. These are my two community leaders, by the way. They're talking to each other. You guys are crazy. A lot of holes in the desert too. I'm just saying. I mean, you guys should be arresting yourselves for just even talking about this. Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Absolutely. All right, let's get into it before some of my community leaders get arrested. Let's go back into PulseChain, and we got some cool stuff coming out from Richard Hart. So this is a follow-up on yesterday. Yesterday he talked about his victory against the SEC, and of course today he says, I bet the SEC in court, and the SEC did not drop its case against me. The judge completely dismissed their case for both failure to state a claim and lack of jurisdiction. This is why PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex gain legal certainty that almost no other coin has, even Ethereum. The judge also rejected the SEC's abandoned alter ego theory, which was a particularly bad one. I mean, come on. I don't know who was in there. Some like junior lawyer, maybe out of Harvard or something, that doesn't have a clue what they're doing. Just because these guys, just because they go to big law schools, doesn't mean that they actually know what they're doing when they get in. I've known a few like that. Hey, look, they might be good at sort of academic writing, in that space. But when they get into the commercial world, it all falls apart, and they can't take criticism too. That's another one that they're a problem. This is a victory for open source software, free speech, PLS, PLSX, Hex, and I. I love it. I got to say that one more time. This is a victory for open software, free speech, PLS, PLSX, Hex, and I. Hex and I. Don't you love that? I got to love that. That is so cool. That's from Richard there. Now, what else we got there? In fact, he's just hit a big milestone too. He's had 113,000 views on that. But Richard has just hit a big milestone of 350,000 followers. Look at that. So well done to Richard Hart there. And of course, it's just the way it goes, onwards and upwards. Now, people are saying, when will he stream? When will he stream? Because that will cause a craze, like a little craze there. If Richard Hart goes to stream sometime. Now, he still has this red notice apparently running around for Interpol. But I'm sure his lawyers are working on that too. And we'll see. It's just like a information broadcast network, isn't it, really? So we'll see. Now, the other big thing, of course, is for PulseChain is Kraken. People are talking about Kraken. Is it true? Is it not true? This is the thing, is it true or not true? So we've got Kraken support here. I'm going to have to give it a follow here. And, of course, what it says, we're here to help get an account. And, of course, they put out this post about the banana zone is approaching. And, of course, that is the parabolic rise in crypto that we're talking about. And of course, Bitcoin to 150 to 250K, maybe even 400K is definitely possible in this year, and onwards and upwards. And as you guys know, Michael Saylor's projection for 2145, I keep going back in the last century somewhere, 2145 is a $13 million Bitcoin. So we're well on the road to that. That's kind of where we're going there. Now, let's jump down there. We had some comments here. Eva on Hex says, hey, team. What is the progress with PulseChain launch on Kraken? Thank you. A nice little polite post there. And Kraken replied, hey, Eva, no update we can share just yet, but keep an eye out on our listings roadmap. You never know what might pop up next. So we're going to have a quick look at this listings one here. and see whether it gives us anything. Well, apparently they got some tokens in here. I'm just looking, have we got any PulseChain stuff? They've obviously got Hyperliquid and BNB and other ones that we're familiar with. And it looks like they've got a list here, but I don't see anything yet for PulseChain. But this is the kind of the list that they're talking about keeping a track of. So we will do that. And then following underneath that, we had some replies. And Crypto Coffee, pretty much I argue is probably the biggest influence in the PulseChain community overall if you add everything up. And of course, there are some very big influences, like Somi and KDP and many others. Probably a good dozen large influences in the community. But overall, I think if you cross all the platforms, it's probably Crypto Coffee there, 52,000 followers. And so he says, do it. PulseChain FTW there. So Kraken support, definitely be taking notice of someone with 52,000 followers. And they say, stay tuned, blogkraken.com. So that's kind of cool. They responded to that. And then, of course, I responded to my little tiny channel because I'm rebuilding. I'm like the little train that could. And, of course, as you guys know, X takes down channels all the time. You work for ages, and I wasn't really looking too hard, but you work for ages, and it's more time in the market, right? It's not time in more time in the market. And, then they pull down your big channel, and you got to start again. I don't know what my channel would be right now, but I know it would be a lot bigger. And so we're starting again. That's all we can do. Like Rocky Balboa, we're going to fight the fight and run up those stairs. What city was that, by the way? Was that Chicago? What city was that? Those stairs? Let me know. Was it Boston? I don't know. I've only ever been to LA and I've been to Tampa, Florida. I think that's about it. And New York. I went to New York actually one night, but I was ill in New York. It wasn't that much fun, except for riding in the little horse and carts around New York Park. That was probably the highlight. And there was one or two others as well. I went to the New York Performing Arts and Juilliard School there, which was great because I was still dancing at the time. Anyway, so I wrote, we're supporting PulseChain, the best DeFi community on the planet. Let's go, Kraken, and let's get it. And we've got quite a few other people in the community there all are keen for that. So keep an eye out. Big exchange would be pretty awesome. I know that Crypto 7 out there in the UK, he was talking about, hey, wouldn't it be good to get an exchange on as well? So I'm pretty sure it was him. All right, so that was the good news. So yeah, Richard Hart and hits that 350,000 milestone. Kraken there teasing us perhaps with the PulseChain listing. That would be the first significant exchange, and Kraken's got a pretty good reputation overall compared to most of the exchanges, and I've used it before. It seems pretty good to me. So there we go. Now that leads us into PulseChain. Down a day 713 since we launched, and of course we launched on the 30th of May 2023. Forked Ethereum on the 10th of May, and Pulse at the moment is actually showing a bit of green, but we haven't been rallying the last 2 days. We should be rallying. Why not? That's the question a lot of people are asking. We bet the ECC. We had a good day for 1 day, and then where's our 7-day rally? That's what people are asking. Now, obviously, there's a lot of pros and cons to what's going on. I don't want to get into that. It's a whole different video, but maybe we'll do that. But we've got Pulse at the moment. Quadruple 0353 is up 2.3%, and we're still sitting at 35% of the mean sacrifice price. So still a wonderful zone to accumulate. PulseX at the moment is at quadruple 0293. That's up 2.5% at the moment, and the buy and burn sitting at 1.39 trillion is at 7.02%, looking pretty good. Incentive token $1.59 is down 1.5%. And of course, it's had quite a big rally the last couple of days. So incentive token is probably the main exception because it rallied all the way from $1.16 to about $1.65 or something. So that's done pretty well. Now, at the moment, the supply is around 55 million. The inflation's been cut like 20x, so it's about 5% of what it used to be. Hex at the moment is at 3/4 of a penny. So Hex looking a bit good there. And EHEX is at 27/100 of a penny. So EHEX has made a major move there. Probably back on the back of Dipcatcher's token. Was it Hex Flex? Was it or Flex Hex? It's a token, but it's actually like a second layer protocol, wasn't it, on Ethereum? So he's making a whole ecosystem based on Hex, which I think is a smart move. And of course, hopefully that will attract a lot of capital. Otherwise, that wouldn't go to PulseChain potentially, and actually just flow in from Ethereum into that. So that could be quite exciting, especially with an open, positive environment. So that is opening at the moment. You can actually participate. It's $50, I think, per parcel, as opposed to I think it's going to be $200 something when it goes when it goes live, basically. So it's going to play there. Now the other big thing, of course, you guys know, looks like Rack and Rochelle has been buying Hex. So he said a couple of hours ago, he says, "Hey, no one buy Hex," and he's looking at Lamborghini. He's like, Steve Hitson's about to do something or something. So I think he's been buying some Hex. We also know that BankX, of course, apparently seen a ton of its Hex over. Was it 100 million Hex over the bridge apparently to the PulseChain. So I haven't heard anything more about that, but that's out there. And of course, they've got about 180 million or something like that, 185 million left out of the, what was it, 700 million? Was it 700 million or 800? It was 7, I think. 700 million Hex left that they got from the Hex Gold. Well, we have no idea why he did it, but it just happened. And that's kind of where we are at the moment. So we got some pros and cons there. And the other thing, of course, is Rack and Michelle, buying some there. So there's 3 big pieces of alpha there. And what else? What can we say? We're at 1 cent. Woohoo! Exit at 1 cent. And of course, people are talking about multiple dollars. It's going to be pretty fun. So we've got inflation cut back. We've got thinner liquidity pools. And we haven't really fired when we should be firing, but it's typical like that, right? We're always a bit delayed. And then we've had delayed rallies on PulseChain relative to NHEX back in the day, relative to the market. So let's bring it on and get going. Now, on towards the gas prices at the moment have been quite volatile, very cheap at the moment, 2.6 million beats. So do transactions, 3 cents a swap at the moment. That's good news. And validators, we've got 49,425. That's been going up. And hopefully we've got better quality validators too, people that are more reliable for the blockchain. So we get better performance in their blockchain as well. And look at this. OMG, the bridge is up. Yeah. That's pretty exciting, yeah. It's pretty exciting. Now we've got to do some magical twinkle for this because we got 89.3. This is up a lot. So what were we yesterday? Let me just think now. I've got to go back in time. I think we're up quite a bit. So we were at, I got to think of this really careful here. I think we were up at around, I'm just going to say around about 84 and something. So I think we're up like $5 million today or something. That is really good news. EHEX, of course, is up quite a bit. It's up at a quarter of a penny. And we've been calling out EHEX being really good anyway, regardless of like dip catches protocol and stuff like that. Just look good anyway with the inflation cut as well. Richard cut the inflation on that too. The DAI there, 21 million. So it looks like is that down a little bit? Yes, down a little bit, isn't it? And we got ETH is obviously up a bit, and of course, Wrap Bitcoin has basically been up a bit as well. And Coast there sitting at 9.6. I'm expecting to see some more come through on Coast, so we'll keep a lookout for that. And yeah, I don't keep track too much of the USD Tether and the USD. I probably should, but just the way it goes. But I think we're down just slightly on the DAI, but we're up on EHEX, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. So nice little moves back up there, 89. Let's see if we can get back to 100 million by next week, 100 million on the bridge. Let's bring it. Crowd goes wild. Right, let's get into the volumes. $25.4 million in volume on PulseChain. So on the low end. So definitely want to get back over that 40 million plus. That's kind of the good zone. Let's hopefully we get back there. 25.4 million. But we've got plenty of green coins. We've got 405,000 transactions at the moment, so that's pretty good. We've got some tokens there. We've got a couple of people in the chat there talking about this one. Pumpy, Pump Tires mascot there. That's a Pump Tires mascot there. So nice little add-on. So Pumpy there up 146%. Been around for 5 hours. I'm going to give you a little plug since we do cover new launches. And this is the token there. Once again, do your security on this one as usual. And there it is. So it's got a quick in. It tells there's no issues. Ownership renounced unknown. So you might be able to check the new block explorer from Midgard. That's got an AI checker there. That'd be pretty good. Or go to Pulse Police. But that is the price at the moment. And it's ticking away. They got a Telegram group, so you can join up to that too. That is the number one performer. Only been around for 5 hours. Blaster there is been around for over a year. That's up 29%. Gas money. So we get into the printer tokens. We know that printer tokens particularly have been dominating for several months from OG WebChef, and particularly have come back into quite strong favor the last 2 days with the crypto pumping. So gas money there. Now you get gas money and it just drips you Pulse to your wallet. That's basically it. But you've they are great tokens. They do a lot of volume, but you've got the price can swing quite a bit, and they switch between the different printers. They switch around a lot as well. MVS in our team, he's really expert in this area. He follows the stuff very well. It's also some of these tokens. In fact, most of these tokens are on our alpha list in our Telegram. So if you haven't joined our Telegram, the link's in the video description as well as the Discord. Our Discord's private, so that's a paid Discord. It's $12.50 for a community membership there. And if you want to join our strategy club, which is kind of the top group, that is $35 a month, which is really good value. You can go check that, compare that to a lot of other groups. That's really, really good. And then, of course, we have the Telegram, which is free, and we have a free alpha list over there. So you'll get that list. Now, if you go to Strategy Club, you're going to get the top 10, which is really what I think is going to be real winners. And then we've got the whole list of about 20, something like that, about 20 tokens sitting in that alpha list. So check that out as well. That's free to get access to that. Now, we've got a big announcement coming out. It's probably going to come out today. Hey! I got to talk to my team. We are a team. It's not just me. So we got potentially some big announcements coming out there as well today. So you got to hold on to your hat for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to get into it. So that's coming out today. Yeah, we're going to do it today. I think we're going to do it today. I'm 99% sure we're going to do it today. I'll just give you 1% little slippage there for get an out. That's pretty much it. But we're going to be launching today. We've got Trump token at the moment is up 21%. Emerald there is up 17%. Missile, another printer token, up 13% there. Note token. We're going to be talking about influencer tokens. That's our next topic. A note token there up 12% there. Sparta is up 11% there. And what else there? Firewell, another influencer token. We're going to talk about that. That is up 10%. Most token there as well. Potentially another influencer token, up 9% there. Not bad. So we've got quite a few above 10% there. We've got good old Trump tires die there. So what have we got? So many dies. We've got Fork die. We got which got the big community behind it, right? We got Pump Tires die here. We've got Good die, and there's a fourth die. I just forgotten the fourth die, but you guys, there's a fourth die out there as well. And now we got X Game there up as well, up 6% there. What else there? Pump Tires up 5% there. Another potentially influencer token there, and so on. So we got quite a few movers over 5% at the moment. There we go. Now, you guys know I told you about Rack and Rochelle teasing about buying Hex there through Steve Hitson as front man. But also he was in XUSD chat yesterday talking about how I think he's moved to number one holder of XUSD, buying up XUSD. So that's a little bit of alpha drop there too. XUSD is also on our alpha list in our Telegram. Hit the links. And of course, if you want to get our strategy club, that's the top of the tier. Join the Discord there and hit that up today. Only $35 a month. Fantastic value there. All right, so that is kind of where we are at the moment on those tokens. Let's get into the influencer coins, though. Before we do, let's catch up on the chat. This is the main event, and we're going to get into influencer coins now because, hey, look, they do a good job out there, most of the influencers, don't they? So we're going to get into that. We're having a few influencers come back from the past, or back to the future, is that the way you say it? Some of the influencers we had, Jim Rat Crypto is back, so a big welcome back to Jim Rat Crypto. I know he's a crowd favorite, and good to see him back. And that is exciting. We also had another one. Brandon is back from Rags to Riches, and he came back today, only 10 hours ago. He got his X account back up. I wish I'd get my X account back up. I'm going to have to do a lot more dealing with the support team, apparently, but that would be great. So let's see if actually I'm going to focus on that. That's going to be a focus of mine to get my old X account back. It's great building a new one, and that's fine. But if I can get the old one back, I'll give it another go. So Brandon is back from Rads to Riches, one of our bigger influencers as well. And of course, he is a developer as well with many protocols. So first endowment token, Texan token, right? Texan. And so on. But apparently there was a Solana exploit, some scammer Solana one that compromised his accounts. And apparently that caused quite a bit of damage. I don't know the full extent of that, but that's apparently what happened. So he apologized to the community for that. It's easy to get, there's a lot of terrible people out there, unfortunately, but there are a lot of good people too. And, he's one of those good people and he's back today. So it's good to welcome back to you, Brandon, and from formerly Rags to Riches, right? So big shout out there. So yeah, we've got two big influencers back in the mix. Jim Rat Crypto, probably from the medium class, and we got the large class there with the Brandon. So welcome back to both of those influencers. Let's see what else comments we've got in the chat here as well. Let's see here. We're going back up here. Let's see. We scroll down there. I think this is where I got this up to. Wookie says, this is the alpha you get in the Discord. Let's go, says Wookie. I like that. Discord rock, says Brian. Absolutely does. And that is the link to Discord. So join up today. We've got our, like I say, our community membership is $12.50 and our strategy club is $35. That's the top tier. So get into that today. Pretty well priced too, actually, compared to a lot of alternatives. What else there? 2045, not 2145. No, his price prediction for Bitcoin from Michael Saylor is 21. What year are we? I'm pretty sure. What year are we in? No, we're not in 2145. I said 2145. My bad. So I got it right the first time, 2045. Man, I was like 100 years in time. I was like Buck Rogers. Do you remember the old TV show Buck Rogers in the 21st century? That's what I think. I'm Buck Rogers. I'm like in a state of delusion. 2045. Thanks for correcting me there. 1945 was like the war, end of the war. So yeah, that makes sense. 2145. Hey, look, the final piece of Bitcoin's coming out. Was it 2141? Is it 2141? Let me know, Brian. I think I normally have that in my mind, but I'm confused now. I've confused myself. 2141, is it? Or 21? Yeah, 2141. I'm pretty sure the last bit of Bitcoin. Let me know. Yeah, what else have we got? Trent in the house. Hey, big shout, Trent. Hey, all. Good to see you, Trent, as always. Trent's one of our rock stars in the Discord. Big shout out. We got Fat Sammy as well. Fat Sammy, of course, leading up. Used to be formerly a community leader in our Discord. Now is kind of the leader of Pulse Bitcoin in the community there. They got a very large community there. If you haven't checked them out, definitely go check out Pulse Bitcoin and see what they're up to. Big shout out there, Fat Sammy. It was Philly. Oh, that's where Rocky was running up those stairs. Man, that scene has got to be one of the great scenes. And I know that he did it recently, right? Not recently, but within the last 10 years. Didn't he go back there? Maybe in a couple of years ago, 2 years. These days, you'll find Rocky Balboa Stallone still making movies, of course, but sitting at cafes, smoking a stogie, as it were, in his very Italian style. I love the guy. He really is as close to one of the royal families of America, isn't he? The old Stallone family there, and he's got 3 daughters as well. Very Trumpian-like, right? With the old European wife, I think it is, and so on. What out there? Fat Sam says, check out out tonight's Saint Wolf live stream with Fast Abdul and I talking about all PulseChain gossip. So if you like the gossip, check it out. What else there? We got the link there, so you can go check out the link for that. And we got Hex Amigo announced there. Don't really want a centralized exchange listing at these lows. Better after 1,000 excess, Hex Amigo. Hey, look, I think it's all more about onboarding and just that acceptance of the chain after defeating the SEC. I think overall it'll be pretty well, flooding the bags and giving you money. I don't think you can really, really, it's sort of like Rack and Rochelle. People used to have them on about the Saudi Arabian money, but they were kind of shooting themselves in the foot, right? You can have big, large capital coming into the chain. They're like, no, we don't want them. And it's like, are you, what plan are you on? What plan are you on? You want your bags pumped or what's going on there? It's a bit like that, right? It's illogical. Fat Sam says, expect EHEX to PX ratio trade. Indeed. And of course, we've also seen, what else we've seen, not just the EHEX to PX ratio protection, but also we've seen PulseX up versus Pulse as well. This is some interesting ratio trends going on with the chain. Wookie's been to the other galaxy. You have indeed. In fact, a lot. Hex Amigo says Hex to $10. I like that. That is the Telegram. Definitely join up today. The free alpha list, and of course, a awesome community. In fact, are we close to 300 members? I think we might be close to 300 members. 294. We need 6 more members. Six more members. We need 6 more members there. I better be careful with that counting there. What else there? Hex Amigo says, what did you to your X account? Nothing. I don't know why they took it down. They didn't give me any good reason for it. Brandon is a good guy, says Fat Sammy. Absolutely. I'm a big fan of Brandon's. And hey, look, scammers can do pretty bad things sometimes. So it's just the way it goes. Yeah, last I heard it was 2141. Yeah, 2141. Yeah, last bit of Bitcoin there. Now, is that the last bit of Satoshi? Is that pretty much it? Or as opposed to like SAT? Is that last SAT as opposed to the last Bitcoin? Because we get most of the Bitcoin out. By the time we have the next halving, the ratio there's going to be not much Bitcoin coming out, right? We'll be about 19.9 million out of 21 million, so it's not a lot to go. I've been back to onboarding just about full time recently, all big bags in Bitcoin, says Brian. Nice one. You can't go wrong with Bitcoin, can you? Let's onboarding. What? It's onboarding. Yeah, that's true. All right, so let's get back into it. The main event. We have finally arrived. The crowd goes wild. Yay! All right, let's get into it. The influencer coins. And of course, we have a great set of influencers. Now, one thing I want to say about the influencers is that we've got PulseTube, which covers all the influence. They're redoing their site, so they've got a brand new refresh site coming. I'm very excited about it, and the PulseTube guy has been always fantastic, helping a lot of people. So it's going to be really great to see that, and we're going to cover that on this channel once it does come out. It'll be very, very cool. And but here we are, influencer coins. Like I said, a couple of years ago, I saw someone post say, "Oh, I think that most of them, a good amount. I can't remember exact the phrasing, but a lot of the influencers basically going to become, to put their own coin out, maybe a third, maybe half or something, or something more specific." But here we are, and I've got a list. Now, I'm not sure all of these are on the list, so I'm going to, give some qualifications. But because I don't know, Richard launched pump tires, and I don't know exactly which ones are his. People have said, these ones are his. I'm presuming pump tires is actually his. But let's go through them anyway, and you can decide if I'm missing any on this list that you think should be on here or not on here. Let me know. But if you're going to say not on here, give me a good reason as well. But let's get into it. The best performer at the moment is Trump token. And of course, you can decide who launched this. I put this in for fun, but this is Trump. And I thought, he's the president of the United States. We've got to put this on. So this may or may not be necessarily on here. Probably not. But hey, look, it's up 27.6% today, and it is dominating all over the over crypto, as we saw with Trump token on Solana. They're pumping and dominating on CoinGecko. But at the moment, this is up 27.6%. Now, this is kind of more of a what we call this, kind of a mascot, a bit like a mascot, a bit like Pumpy token is there. So here we are. We got a little jump off the bottom. We're down at 9,000, and now we're up at 00, almost 2/10 of a penny. Nice big rally there. In fact, yesterday we closed out because we just crossed over. No, not quite. But yesterday we had a high of quarter of a penny, just over a quarter penny. So pretty good move there from Trump. Not Trump token there. Now, the other one is, of course, this is a true influencer coin. The next one, without further ado, this is Randy Alaski. Of course, been around crypto since Satoshi just had his thought about Bitcoin. That's how long Randy Alaski's been around. And, of course, he does great stuff there. He's got his No Permissions group out there as well. That's probably the biggest community group there out there as far as I know. Maybe Access Alive's probably got a big one. There's another channel that's probably got a big one, but Randy Alaski's is particularly good with the No Permissions, and he has weekly updates and that. So big shout out to that. You should check that out as well as our strategy club in Discord. But here we are with the old Randy Alaski one, Nope token, and it's up at 0006. And of course, this is all part of their index, right? They got some big indexes on this one, and they're all part of a family. These guys, Crispy Man, Access Alive, and Randy Alaski, Firewhale, they're all in the same index there that they formed. And at the moment, 0006. So we're having a nice comeback here for the old Randy Alaski. Let me know in the chat there if you are in any of these coins. I'd really love to know that. This one here is Randy Alaski's Nope token, and I've said this one. Once it finds its bottom, it's probably going to do a pretty big, strong rally into the bull market. So this is a pretty good one. Certainly something that I like a lot there. Up 64% at the moment. How about that? Up 64%. And let's have a look at over the weekly to see where that is going. And you guys know what else I'm going to do. Right, I'm going to check the ratios, right? That's a key thing there. How's it performing relative to Pulse or thereabouts? Or this one is against SolidX, right? So I might have to look up a different pair. But this is 0006 and looking pretty good at the price. Now, let me pull this pair up and see. Let's go hunt for a Pulse pair because I want to look at the ratio here. Now, you can look at it versus SolidX, which is obviously pretty awesome, but let's have a look here. We've got 23K in this one. We'll take this one, We'll take this one, and we're going to put it in the influencer coins as well. And let's go back up here. I'm going to take this one out because I just want to look at not the ratio to SolidX, which is interesting on its own, but I want to look at the ratio to Pulse. So let's go back in here. So we're up 13% today, and nice little rebound. But let's have a look at the ratio there and go bam. All right, let's have a look. How's it performing against Pulse? Well, Pulse, it was declining in value against Pulse. It looks like it's got a nice bottom in place now. It looks like it bottomed out at 13.7. It's now at 17.25. Recent high has been 20.7. So I think this is looking pretty right for a nice little rally here on the old Note token there with Randy Alaski. So big shout out to Randy there. That is currently the best performer today. Now, you guys know X Game. This is I've included X Game because this was all set up by Firewhale, right? This is Randy Alaski's friend. and he's one of the big whales on the chain. We talked about Rack and Rochelle before. Now, one thing about Rack and Rochelle, he was the top. He had a consortium of people. He was in the top sacrifice. I think he gave us the number actually. I can't remember if it was 7 or more, but he gave a number about how many people were in the sacrifice. He was the number one sacrifice of PulseChain and PulseX, but he's recently had a divorce, and so apparently the wife's been selling a lot. So if you see selling on the account, it's pretty much his wife apparently. So that's kind of a little bit of background there. But he himself has been buying for about the last year on PulseChain, and recently, yesterday, he announced that he took number one spot in XUSD, and has been teased about buying Hex today with Steve Itson. So there's some of the little background stuff going on there. Now, X Game, of course, from Firewell, a very friendly whale in the system, and this is going up. This is going up. So X Game is going to be one of the biggest. I remember I did a video a couple of weeks back about the top 5 protocols coming. X Game is probably going to be one of the real killer apps on PulseChain. Because it's going to have a massive 30% referral program, all sorts of stuff like that. It's going to have an official casino license, one of the few crypto gambling sites to have that, and it's going to be decentralized. It's also going to add more games as it goes. At the moment, the first game is a crash game, all that sort of stuff, but I'm going to talk more about that later on today. Now, we got this going up pretty well, just under a quarter of a penny is ticking away there as well, so that's performing pretty well. How's it doing compared to Pulse? Let's have a look here. Pulse, it is down at 69. So where's this going to go? It started off, this is the weekly candles, by the way. It started off at 368, currently 69. But hey, look, I'm looking forward to this. I think we're going to have exciting things with this one as we move ahead. If we look at the weekly, there's the weekly chart there. I think it's kind of hit the bottom. It's time for glory moving ahead. And we should expect that to launch anytime soon. Now, we've got pump ties here. Now, I don't know. I'm presuming that Richard Hart launched this one, right? So I don't know if someone's done chain analysis, whatever, but this is where we are with Pump Ties, the official token pretty much for the Pump Ties platform. And this is ticking away there. So we're up at 1.1 cent at the moment. It's had a nice little rally for the last week, very modest, just slowly creeping. These creepers, right? They suddenly have a big green candle, so look out for that. And let's have a look at the ratio to Pulse, the old Pump Ties. We'll assume this is a Richard Hart product, just like Hex and PulseChain and all that. Now, I haven't included Richard Hart stuff, so to speak, because, it's kind of a given, right? Kind of a given, a founder's token there. And he's not really, acting as an influencer these days, even though he's a founder, right? We start streaming again, back to influencer again. That's kind of the way we look at it. And at the moment, we've sort of bounced off 267 at 314 Pulse per one pump there. Remember, pumps have a limited supply of 1 billion tokens. And I haven't actually looked at the holder amounts on here. You can check that to see who holds them. Typically, Richard might hold some of that. Let's do it anyway. Let's do it. Let's go to be crazy here. And instead of just talking about it, let's have a look and see what the holder class is looking like for this token. Unnamed token. It shall remain unnamed. 3,459 holders. That's a lot of holders. A 78% sitting in the main wallet. Probably Richard's wallet, right? So there we go. Not bad from Pump Ties. So looking pretty good, and we probably expect some pretty awesome things from this. Now, in terms of the next token, we've got Most token. This is another Pump Ties, right? From me, I'm pretty sure it's Pump Ties. Yeah, let me double check that too. I've had had two forgetful moments today. So I got to, when you start doubting yourself, you got to go check. So let's have a quick look. Puppy powers. Yeah, there are 1 billion tokens again. Let's have a look at the holders for Most. Now, this is obviously a copy of Ricky, right? Ricky was out first in January. This is a copy of that, and got different, different branding, different teams. And of course, the Ricky has a pretty large community. 7,164 holders of this. 79% sitting in this wallet as well. So that may very well be Richard again. You can decide on that one. Now, that is ticking away there at the moment. It is up from 3.8 cents up to almost 6 cents. So a really strong rally there. That's been pretty good, right? It's been pretty good from the local bottom. And it is up 66%. The ratio to Pulse, it tells the story. And it's been shading off there. It seems to have bounced off 1,426. Now it's 1,676 there. So relatively speaking, a lot higher value there as well. 59.7 million market cap, OMG. So that's the Most community there. Now, the next one is Firewell. Now, we talked about X Game. That's Firewell, right? Now, X Game, he controls most of the supply on X Game. But he doesn't control most of the supply Sorry, let me get back out of here. He doesn't control most of the supply for Firewhale, right? Firewhale, he does not control most supply. He controls about 55% when he first launched it. The other tokens he launched, he controls, but not this one. Although he's probably been buying it up, probably been buying it up there. And we're at 000734, and that has been rallying as well. So let's have a look at this one. Now, this is kind of his branded one, right? And the reason why he launched this is because he didn't want someone else to steal his name, and especially on the presumed success of X game coming up. This is up 56% over the last 8 days. Not bad. Market cap $734,000. So this, I think, has got a lot of upside for this. Let's have a look at the Pulse. This is probably the most democratized of the 3 pump tires he launched, and the ratio there just off the bottom at the moment, 18.9 up to 20.6. So potentially a lot of up room there. Now he's got Solid X as well. Now I haven't got Solid X on here, but I'm going to add Solid X now because I was supposed to do that before the live stream. And now he's got Solid X OG. That's the one that people are going to be, really looking after there. I've got to find the right coin here, but let me see. I don't know if it's that one. I can't remember if it's the yellow one or green one, but let's go for the yellow one here. And let me just pull this up. This one's been around for years, so it's not the yellow one. This is the OG. I don't want to talk about the OG one at this stage, although I should probably add it. Let's add it anyway. And we're going to add that to influence tokens. And then we're going to go to the green one. The green one must be the pump tires. And we're going to go to that. And let's have a look at that. It's been around for how long? 29 days. So, yeah, this looks like the pump tires one. And that's kind of cool. So this is the one I want to talk about. And here we can see that's kind of off the bottom too. We're down at 000774. Now we're at 1/10 of a penny. Nice little rally there. This is pump tire. So he's got 4 tokens, right? The 3 pump tire ones. This is up 46%. And looks at the ratio to Pulse. Got a $1 million market cap. So performing pretty well. It's definitely higher than the Firewhale one, but the Firewhale one's catching up. We're at 30.5 Pulse there at the moment. So a lot of potential upside. Let's have a look at a log chart. There's a log chart there. Coming off the bottom, very flat bottom there for Solid X. Now, let's go back here as well. We're going to go back to the influencer tokens. So we're kind of trying to keep in track here with the performance. So we got Solid X there doing pretty well. And of course, the actual Solid X is actually $10.47. I'm pretty glad that they've redone their branding there too, because that is making it a bit clearer once you remember it. And we got up 2% at the moment on that one. And this is the one that's going to be burnt from the profits from the casino, including the first crash game on X game, right? So at the moment, this is ticking away. That had a good rally the last couple of days off the bottom. So you can sort of see there's a general upward movement of these tokens for Firewhale. That's up 50% in 8 days. And the ratio to Pulse, let's have a look at that. That is just off the bottom. So not a lot of action at this moment, 279 up to 293. But we have recently been to 305, so we'll keep a lookout for that. And of course, the upward side is pretty massive on this token, as you can see. You're talking about going from 300,000 up to 1.5 million or more pulse per one Solid X. So it's obviously burning away too. They're burning the token away. Currently, the market cap 220 million. This is the penultimate there for Firewhale, and liquidity 194k there. So not bad. That is the mark there for that one. Now, the other one I want to talk about is Time Dividend. Now, Time Dividend is a wallet. Obviously, it's a native wallet. PulseChain is kind of the dominant one, if you ask me. Obviously, there's Pulse Wallet out there. But this is from KG. And I kind of find that KG is kind of, I don't know, he's an influencer. He's kind of the front man for this. And even though it's a standalone wallet, because, people launch protocols, and this is more of a developer's protocol. But I just can't, sort of detach myself with KG from this protocol. Now, obviously, this is super successful. It's had over 70,000 downloads or something. So we're going to have a quick look at that. It's got a new stats page, so we're definitely going to check that out. And you can see the downloads, and what a great job these guys are doing, right? 73,377 downloads, and looks like they've had 2,800 downloads between March 29th and April the 14th, so over 2 weeks. So doing really, really well with the growth. Super excited about that. So for pretty cool. You own the time dividend, time token in your wallet. It's multi-chain too. So depending on the amount of swapping going on in each chain, you earn a share of the profits, and it just you can claim that it drops to your wallet, one of those two. So definitely worth checking out there. up 2.64% today. And of course, let's look at the weekly because it's been around for a while. It's one of the OGs projects. And yeah, look at that zigzag. So you would have had quite a bit of volatility over this period. But at the moment, it's on the up and up. So pretty exciting there, 2,300 of a penny. Now, let's jump out of there. We've now got Time Token. We've talked about that. Let's go down. We've got Firewhale from Crispy Man. So Crispy Man here is one of these tokens, along with Randy Olasky, Axis Alive, Firewhale. There's Crispy Man. Of course, Crispy Man is the man these days on hex analysis. He is kind of the guy, the go-to. Does a great job of that. And he does regular shows, if not daily. They're definitely regular shows. And this is coming off the bottom. So it looks like we got down to 5 zeros, 5,500. We're now at 5 zeros, 6,700. And we've made a nice little move off the bottom there. So that's kind of cool on that one. We're up 21.5%. Not bad. And the one thing I was going to say about this, these guys stream every so often. They'll stream together. I think 4 weeks ago was the last time they streamed. So you can check that out on, I think, Randy Olasky's channel, Access Live possibly. So that is up as well. But what's the ratio to Pulse? Well, this is solid X. But let's see if we can find. Here the pairing. Now you can see how there's another token that's connected to SolidX. So you got this webbing going on, all backing onto SolidX. So it's kind of a logical thing there. SolidX being the big giant, 220 million, and all these are backing onto the liquidity webbing. All pretty cool. And so let's have a look at the PulseChain one. I'm going to add that into the mix, and influencer tokens there too. I'm going to get to the comments in a minute, so I haven't forgot about the comments. You guys know, I never forget about the comments. So we'll get to those in a minute. And let's look at the ratio. Let's go back and let's go back there and see if we can get to the ratio here. I've lost my way. We'll find my way back. Let's go to the influencers, and we're going back down here. Make sure I recognize, and we're going down to Hex Firewhale here. I went back in the same coin. Let's go back out here, and we're going. Where's the one going here? Fire Pulse. Let's go to that, and we're going to switch the ratio to Pulse, and we'll get there in the end. So this chart looks a bit better there with the weekly. Let's go to the Pulse ratio. This is on the weekly chart now, not the daily, and we're sitting at 0.19. So market cap 2.4 million. So this is the cheapest out of them all at the moment. But of course, we will see how it goes with the webbing there. So far, it's not really lifting. So maybe a little bit more work to do here. Obviously, we've seen Firewhale's tokens all moving up. Will this move up as well? A question mark there, So worth a deep dive there. Now, he's probably got the smallest influence out of them all. And so we'll see how that goes. So definitely, maybe it's a good zone to pick up. We will see. What else there? We got some other stuff going on here. We've got Axis Alive. Now, Axis Alive, of course, is a very large influencer, does a lot of technical analysis, TA. So it's kind of like what the go-to trading guy in the PulseChain community. We used to have Gerardo used to do a lot of TA. Gerardo set up, launched Mintra, but got a massive sacrifice in there, and we've never seen him since. But there we are. He's out there doing good work and enjoying Hawaii or somewhere. I don't know. You can decide. But at the moment, we got the weekly chart here. And we got the price sitting. It's actually the ratio to Pulse, is it? No, USD. So we got the prices at 7,244. So very different price scale on here. Now, pretty much Axis Alive or whoever controls the organization controls most of the supply, like 99%. So this is done like Richard Hart does. Control most of the supply, and you can get very large market cap. So you got a market cap here of 7.24 billion, right? That's kind of how it's done. But most of the coins are still sitting in the main wallet. You've only got like 2 Axis tokens sitting in the liquidity here for this particular pair. So it's a very different tokenomic setup. And of course, as you saw, it's linked into SolidX and other stuff as well, other pairings, webbing there with the same index. And so we've got 29K liquidity. We've got a 7.24 billion market cap. This shows you how absurd market cap can be, right? So it's absurd there. So at the moment, let's look at the ratio to Pulse. It's going to be pretty crazy. Yeah, 203 million Pulse. 203 million Pulse per one Axis. How about that? Woo! That's pretty cool. Now, it's actually been declining over the last 4 weeks. It was on a weekly chart. And we'll see where it heads from here. But SolidX seems to be leading the way. So I definitely like the Axis ecosystem. It's performed well before. But it had a nice big uptrend if you look at it like that. But definitely been down recently. Can it bounce from this 203 million? Because really you want to outdo Pulse, right? Yeah, if you can't outdo Pulse, you just hold Pulse, right? That's kind of the play. If you can't outdo Pulse, you hold Pulse. So question mark on this. Has performed well in the past and may perform well on the back of SolidX, but at the moment SolidX is kind of, and its ecosystem from Firewhale is dominating, and he is a whale after all. So that's kind of where we see where he can go from there. Now, Firewhale did say, I think he said his portfolio back in the day was about 70 million. I think associated the PulseChain. You can double check with him, of course, but then I think he said it got down to, I don't know, 15, 20 million or something like that. Obviously with the deflation of PulseChain, but it also reinflates on the way back, on the way back up. So that's kind of where we are there. Now we're going to get to Gophers. Now I've included Gophers because Dipcatcher's doing the stuff on Hex at the moment. He did Maximus products, but I can kind of consider those just Hex products, right? The Hex derivatives, and what a brilliant job he did during the bear market. Along with Alex McFerder, did about 2 billion Hex tokens off the market. Pretty awesome. But this is 404. This is a 404 contract, not a 720. Not a 1155, not a PRC 20 or whatever. So 721. But it's been performing like a boss, and I kind of attribute this to Dipcatcher, like his personal sort of 404 meme brand with these cool little gophers. I mean, aren't they cute? The little gophers there, and good old fashioned unregistered security there. I love it. It's gophers, and this has been performing pretty well. It came all the way down to 91. It is 91 in terms of dollars, and now it's back up at 172. So this has performed very well over the days ahead here. So how many days is that? Up 87% in 3 weeks. Not bad, or just over 3 weeks there. Now the ratio to Pulse, let's have a look at that. We saw some insanity with the Axis Alive token. Well, this is pretty insane as well. It looks like one Gophers there, 4.79 million, 4.79 million Pulse at the moment. Market 1.7 million. This is probably a lot more reasonable. The only problem with this is the liquidity, the volume is down. It's only $460 today. So you can see the volume is actually quite low. Sometimes we get up to 6,000, 7,000, but this is probably the only criticism. Apart from that, it's probably got a good upside potential. But now he's focused on the Hex Flex there. Maybe it won't get so much love there as well. So there's potentially some challenges for it. But it was the first 404 contract on PulseChain, and of course experimental at the time. That's kind of where we are there. Now, the other one, of course, is a huge influence in the space. The man, the myth, and the legend, Maddie, of course, who runs the Hex and PulseChain conferences for many, many years from the beginning. And here it is with a good die. And of course, we had a big sell-off here. This is pretty gun. This is the hourly chart, by the way. This is the hourly chart. I mean, it looks like one of those famous rug pills, but this one here is at 17.5 cents. And it got all the way down to 13.77. It's now 13.38 there. So, but let's look at the daily on this. It's only been around for a few days, as you can see. And of course, this had a lot of airdrops, right? A lot of airdrops, I think it was. Snapshot for the fork die holders. And this is where it is at the moment. So we are down. So from the high, which was a spike high on the day, you could take it from there. We're down from $2.30, $2.34 all the way down to 14 cents there at the moment. Now, that is down 94%. But if we take it from, the second day high, let's say, which is probably a little bit more reasonable. So let me get out of there. Let me take it from the second day, and we are still down, 87%. Now, where's it going? Well, it seems to have flatlined, right? So we do have some form of flatlined here. Seems to have found some sort of support here at 14 cents. But it might break down again, right? It might break down again. There's a lot of other projects out there as well, new projects launching, other projects that have been established with big communities that are doing well. So it's got competition. And there's also other dies out there, right? Pump dies, the fork die, etc. So it's got a lot of competition. There are other alternatives, XUSD, things out there like that that's competing with. So that's kind of where it is. So we'll see. Volume 1,900, 29K liquidity, 277K. You got to say it's one of the weaker ones, right? So we talked about a couple of the weakers here. Now, it's not about the influencer. It's just about the protocol running. And that's looking a bit weak at the moment, but maybe it's an opportunity. Maybe it turns around. But at this stage, it's definitely shown some stability there since the 15th of April, but still on the downside. So that's kind of makes you a little bit nervous about that. And the volume's pretty low. So you're probably thinking maybe not. Now, the other thing, of course, is adding in an RSI. That can definitely help give you a little bit of idea of what's going on from a TA perspective. So we'll add the 4 hourly in there. We can see it's not really doing much, right? It's just humming along on a sideways channel, and it's at the bottom of that, definitely on the weaker side. It's certainly not oversold, so 30. So it could definitely break down again on the 4 hourly, and we probably don't have a daily. we just started minting a daily, and the daily's well oversold. So maybe there's a bit of upside, but there's no volume coming in. Like I say, lots of challenges are there for the old good guy. I do think that he's got a channel. He should open that up to a Telegram chat so people can actually conversate there. That's probably one improvement that he could do on the good guy. Once again, a lot of competition out there. So you got to weigh up that, and I would say probably not. All right, that's probably where you're going there. So definitely we got Hexfire. Hexfire needs a bit of bit of love there from the market if it's going to do well. It may get dragged up by SolidX to some degree. And of course, the good guy there looking a bit weak, a weak die at the moment at this stage. But we'll see. Gopher's also probably may do well. It's certainly got a good brand, but probably with the Cactus focus on ETH chain, could not maybe get the love that it deserves potentially. What else we got going on here? Now I haven't included Texan token. Which is an endowment token. It's kind of Brandon's token. I haven't included that. I haven't included C7 with his, what's it called, 7G or G7 or something like that. I couldn't even find that token anymore. So let me know in the chat if that's disappeared. I couldn't even find that. I didn't include the endowment token because it's kind of an endowment token, even though it had a lot of Brandon's love on it. And he is a developer producing other projects, so I left that one off as well. So those are kind of ones I left out. What else? There's also another guy, American influencer, used to be a smaller channel, but kind of a nice guy. Was it Silver, something like that? Something Silver. He had a token. I don't know if much happened with that. There's also the female influencer who's very good. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But she did a token, not on PulseChain though. I think it was like on Solana or something. So I was a bit confused by a PulseChain influencer doing a non-PulseChain token. But hey, everyone's allowed. It's a free world, and that's the great thing about it. People can do what they want. But that's kind of where we are. That's kind of where we are here with the tokens. Now let's go into the chat there and see if I missed any off. But before we do, let's go into Access Alive. This is some of his cool websites that he's got. So he's got a really cool stat site. So this is looking pretty good. accessalive.app, and here's a lot of the stuff that they're doing. He's got Access Alive tokens here. So he's got the Alive token there. He's got all the holdings and breakdowns on this website. It's pretty neat. So looking good there. So you can definitely check a lot of this stuff out. Access Community Supply. So he's got all the data there. Or he's got Whale Watch, commitments, liquidity stats, etc. So not bad there. It's got the Access tokens. Day 154, apparently. So, it looks like there's been 39, of course, 39 Access tokens as well, 286K, he reckons that is. Not bad. All right, so also Access, we talked about Crispy Man's token. He's got a cool website as well. You can find a lot of these on Coin List, and he's got all the data on PulseChain, which is pretty epic. And you can see that on this site, right? So he's got reports and data and everything like that. So doing pretty well. There's the old Hexy farm. Very cool. So that is pretty much it on the tokens there. Did we talk about anything else? Was anything else going to talk about that? Those are kind of the list there. Maybe a couple of them should not be on there, particularly the Trump token, obviously. But, we're paying tribute there. Let's get into some of the topics here. We've got about 150 people watching, so big shout out to everybody. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and hit the bell. Definitely do that if you're on Rumble, if you're on X, if you're on YouTube, or, of course, if you've come from the Discord, definitely do that too. Let's see who else is jumping through some of these comments. We've probably got a few comments here. Let's see how we go here as well. How we're doing for time? Now in 13 minutes. We've got about 2 minutes by my count. A magical. Let's see here. Scrolling through that. We got up to that there as well. I think we go up to here. It is believed that there will ever be 21 million Bitcoin after mining is done, but it will actually be slightly less as you can't split the last Satoshi, says Brian. Nice one there. Appreciate that. Fat Sam says, if your wife sells your Pulse, she doesn't sell in slow amounts. Yeah. She dumps it. That's right. And I think that was kind of the implication from that. Now, the one thing is I'm invited Rack and Michelle on a live stream. So hopefully we'll hear from Rack and Michelle. Guys, I've always been a big fan of Rack and Michelle. I always look at things objectively as I can. And as you guys know, typically I've never been a drama channel. I leave that for other channels to do. If I get that, if Rackham comes on, it's going to be a fantastic show. got lots of great constructive questions to ask him, and I really ultimately want to get his perspective on crypto, PulseChain, and of course some of the projects that he's invested in, like XUSD, which is pretty interesting with its vibratile approach to value creation and incentives. So it's going to be pretty cool. Brian says, "Why does your wife have access to your wallet?" Well, you normally have to give up crypto. You probably pass it to another thing. I don't know. I don't know how they set it up, but that's a reasonable question, I think. Fat Sammy says, "I can call BS on the wife dump narrative," says Fat Sammy. But hey, whatever. What else do we got? Mumsy would never sell, said Brennan. Mumsy would never sell, probably not. We got DJ and Hexkin. How's that, my man, Superman? Hey, DJ and Hexkin, big shout out to you. Hope you're doing well. And we got their wife dump narrative. I don't know. Most of my friends' wives are dumps. Not you, Mumsy. Just saying. Oh, boy. Don't get yourself in trouble, Brian. Don't get yourself in trouble. Fat Sammy says, "At the end of the day, I welcome Rickham to sell or anyone else free market. Just don't tickle my yeah, okay." It's a family show. It's a family show. Hey, look, I take him at his word, and that's what he said has happened. He says it's been accumulating for the last year, and he can't control what happens in that's the scene. So it is what it is. Brian says, "When I met KG, nothing but good vibes." Says, yeah. He's done a great job with Internet Money, and what a great value add it has been to the community. And of course, he really does serve. Serving is a great sign of leadership, right? That's a big key quality. That people are serving the will of the people as opposed to their own will, right? As opposed to their own will is a good measure of a good leader. Biggest influence in Discord, says Brennan. Big shout out. Who's that? I'm not. Let me know because I can't remember. You're talking about KG? Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly is. LFG. Now, I thought some of you guys would have some influencer tokens that I had forgotten. I'll give you we're over the time. It's our 16 minutes. But if you're in the comments watching afterwards, or hit me up on X, then definitely let me know. Did I miss any out? Because I tried my best to try and get them all in there. I had a few of the pump tires, of course, that probably are related to Richard Hart or somebody like that. And of course, I threw in the Trump one for a bit of fun because that is pumping right now over across all the chains. Well, guys, hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, 99% chance we're going to be announcing something soon. A launch. Not a protocol launch. It's not a protocol launch. We're going to be launching. It's not a token launch. It's not another influencer launch. It's not why I covered influencers to launch the token, but it's something else that we're going to be launching. And 99% chance of that happening today. 99% chance of it. Isn't that fun? Hey, crypto's fun, and I hope you guys are having a good time. We are going to be about to have that banana part of the crypto curve. You saw that there from Kraken. It is coming. It's going to be huge, and bring it on. Mad gains for everybody. Mad gains all around. All right, don't forget to accumulate right now while you can. I'm expecting a lot of awesome stuff coming out from the Trump administration with trade deals, with taxes, with work on regulations, particularly around small, medium banks. Main Street is about to get boosted, and it's going to be a huge, awesome time in the Trump golden era, the golden era of America. And people, it's going to blow minds. It's all going to be a bit like the banana. It's going to start ramping up faster than people expect and go, whoa, what happened? I got slapped on my face. What happened there? SpaceX launch. You got it, Brennan. Don't give away the alpha, bro. Don't give away the alpha. All right, today is growing short. Where am I, boss? Just saying. I don't know. We got to finish the show. All right, peace out there. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share the bell. See you in Discord, see you in Telegram, and see you on the next live stream. I'll catch you then, and look out for X. We could have an announcement on X today. Keep a lookout for that. That is going to be so good. Wooker's betting on the 1%. I don't know, Wookie. I don't know. You got influence on that. All right. Take care, everybody, and have a great time on PulseChain and in crypto. It's going to be quite the ride. Peace out, everybody. Bye for now.